Good eve. Good. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? And welcome to another edition of On the Ball. I am Troy Biff Mills, your host, and we're hoping to have a packed program tonight. And I say good evening to all of you in the St. Kitts and the Nevis, the Leeward Islands, the OECS, the Caribbean. Hey, while we're at it, we might as well say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to you, wherever you are in the universe. One of those must be applicable to you. I'm not certain which one. It depends on where you are. It's another edition of On the Ball here at WINNFM 98.9, the 5th edition. And today is the 21st of November, 2023. My. Time really flies. Poof. It's just the other day, I remember it started off on New Year's Day. And now we're ready to face another New Year's Day. And hey, we got to give thanks. We're here still. On the Ball is sponsored by Cayenne Jet. We must say a very big thank you to Cayenne Jet for coming on board and sponsoring the program. Cayenne Jet is located at the Robert Llewellyn Bratcher International Airport, and it offers a unique take on the modern airport lounge. We are located adjacent to the main airport terminal building in Bastia. The world-class Cayenne Jet lounge has been exquisitely designed to offer and deliver seamless guest-centered services to both private jet and commercial jet passengers. We say again, thank you very much to Cayenne Jet for coming on board and sponsoring us here on the Ball every Tuesday. It's a weekly program every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. And this is the 5th edition. And we thank you for tuning in. Of course, you could have been doing any other thing, but you decided to make WINNFM 98.9 your radio of choice, and we really appreciate that. And from the word go, of course, we're going to be entertaining your calls, 466-0989 or 662-0989. We are being streamed live on Facebook, WINNFM's Facebook page, as well as their YouTube channel. So if you want to see what's happening in the studio, by all means, go ahead. And I must say a very good night and thank you to my technician on duty, Mr. Trent Daddy T. Sargent. I hope you would have had a good week since the last time we are here. And we are going to be having a good program. I'm going to be sharing some information with you. All kind of things happening here in St. Kitts and Nevis. All kind of things happened. Oh my. And well, I wouldn't tell you about my bath pan and my bath towels. I had shedding tears and drying and mopping up tears after India were thoroughly beaten. And I was back in India. I thought they would have won, but I somehow had a sneaky feeling they're not going to show up for the finals, as has been the case so often. And congratulations to the Aussies and the Aussie supporters. You did well, and we really appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. And Kohli, hey, boy, Kohli, you bat. You made a ton of runs. The number one, everything with batting, Kohli is in the top 5. And I had a discussion with a gentleman, an ardent supporter of Australia. Good evening, sir. How are you? He did say Australia were going to win. And when you look at it, Australia don't have too many players in the top 5. That's something we might get a chance to look at. And you have 2-3 Indians in the top 5 in the batting, in the bowling, in the scoring sixes, in the hitting fours, in the boundaries, the taking wickets, the best averages, the best figures, you name it. And 2 or 3 Australians are in there. And I'm trying to convince him, notwithstanding that Australia won the tournament, India is the better team. And I know I might get a bit of stick for that, but hey, because India, they're walking away empty-handed, while Australia, they're having the trophy. But hey, that is life. 668-2055. That is my number in case you would want to call me and share anything with me. I would appreciate that. Share your suggestions, your views on anything. And hey, boy, I just come from the park. And the St. Kitts and Nevis National Bank Primary School Championship organized by the Department of Sport. They are in the quarter-final stage. And, well, I had to walk with another. I didn't walk with a bath pan this time. I walked with actually a bucket. And I didn't walk with some lot of big towels. I walked with some wash rags and things like that. Because Sandy Point Primary School, boy, we get a little lick in there from Deep Bay in the penalty kicks. It was, I know I saw Sandy Point score. And I jump in for joy saying, hey, good, we up. But it looked like we were down 2 and the game ended in a draw. So Sandy Point would have done well to come back. And went into kicks. Mr. Pedro, the director of sports, he will be here with us around 7:30-ish. So he'll have that information, giving us the stats, who this, who that, etc. And kudos to the St. Kitts and Nevis National Bank for sponsoring the primary school element. The high school part of it, that is being sponsored by the Jones Group. And we must say thank you for them, because sponsorship is key to making sure anything happens, be successful, continues. And with that, we say thank you again to Cayenne Jet for coming on board and sponsoring us, as well as anybody, any entity, individual, companies at home or abroad you would want to sponsor On the Ball. No problem, 466-9586. That's our marketing department here at WINNFM 98.9 in the Sands Complex, Bastia. Or you could give me a call, send me a WhatsApp, 869-668-2055. But I'll ask Daddy Q to queue up what one of the sponsors add for us, please. At Cayenne Jet, you will enjoy the one-of-a-kind boutique airport service that you can only find on the thrilling islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. While our chef serves up island specialities, you can relax in Cayenne Jet Luxury Lounge with its stylish blend of local and contemporary decor. Most of all, you can lose yourself in the nothing's too much trouble service for which Cayenne Jet is well known. From immigration formalities to dining reservations to private jet charter, our attentive and intuitive concierge team at Cayenne Jet takes care of every little detail. Cayenne Jet is located at the Robert L. Bratcher International Airport in St. Kitts. Cayenne Jet is a 5-star private air terminal providing luxury services and a relaxing environment for guests arriving to and departing from the beautiful islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. Our exclusive state-of-the-art terminal is available to passengers of private and commercial jets. Relax and be pampered in a luxurious space while your immigration and baggage requisites are being addressed at Cayenne Jet. Cayenne Jet is located at the Robert L. Bratcher International Airport in St. Kitts. Thank you very much, Cayenne Jet, for coming on board and being our sponsor for On the Ball. And Daddy Trent, Daddy T, our technician, he is always on the ball. And I don't know if he played basketball. He got some height. I know he was a technician and technical man for the West Indies teams. But I don't remember seeing Daddy T playing any cricket in your life. You played cricket, Daddy T? Only here. And the funny thing about it, Joe, his dad was arguably one of the best batters in his time in the West Indies. Unfortunate not to make the West Indies team. Livingston, Sargent. Oh, you make West Indies. He said his dad didn't do it, but he did it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be having Mr. Pedro and his staff from the Department of Sports. They're going to be joining us at about 7:30 or thereabout. And at about 8 o'clock, 8:15, we're going to be having Mr. Romain Belgrove, and he is the president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Weightlifting Association. You guys didn't know we have that, did you? Well, yes, we are, and I plan to go and do some working out and plan to lift some weights. Perhaps I could lift about 20, 21 pounds now, but I'll get up there with the guys, and we're expecting a call out of Nevis. But let's start off with some table tennis. Next month, December, the OECS Table Tennis Association, they are going to be hosting the Dominica Table Tennis Association. They are going to be hosting the OECS Table Tennis Championship. So St. Kitts and Nevis, we are participating, and we are actually getting a team together. It's an 8-man contingent, and forgive me when I say 8-man, males and females who will be going. There should be 3, maximum of 3 males, maximum of 3 females, and 2 coaches management. So this tournament hasn't been around for some time now, and it will be coming up again. And hold a sec, I'm seeing a call coming in. I wonder if this is my caller. Good evening, caller. How are you?
I am fine.
Hold a sec. Oh, yes. You hearing me?
This is Mr. Mills. This is Jan Grellhall calling.
Yes, you're live on WINNFM 98.9, Miss Grellhall. How are you tonight?
I am on top of the world. Thank you.
On top of the world. That sounds like a King Elimat song from way back when. I hope you don't fall off. I don't expect that because you're very agile. Who is Janet Grellhall?
You asking me a question?
Yes. Tell us a little about some listeners may have heard about you, others may not. So who is this lady with this lovely voice?
Well, this lady is a community worker. I'm retired now. I was involved in netball, lawn tennis, swimming, culture armor.
It might be easier for you to tell us what you were not involved in.
Right, that would be better. Just a community person. Loves to work, loves to help, and on and on.
It sounds like you have some Sandy Point blood in me. You're describing more Sandy Pointers. You there?
Yes, I'm here. I said I'm not sure about Sandy Point.
Oh, okay. We understand. Maybe you need to dig some background. But ever since I've been a small boy, I've been hearing Janet Grellhall. I've heard you around the culture. I've heard you around the sports. And I've heard you around netball. As far as I'm concerned, you might have been one of the very few persons playing netball in the Federation. But you're living in Nevis now and very involved in the Nevis netball. Tell us how things are going there. What's up with netball in Nevis?
Well, you know, the netball has changed in the world, and so we no longer have a netball association or in Nevis or in St. Kitts, because the world body just looks at countries, not islands.
Yes, we're listening.
Because of that, we have St. Kitts and we have a committee that looks after the netball in Nevis, and there's also a committee in St. Kitts, which is called Netball St. Kitts and Netball Nevis. That is our name. And that is because we are two islands. We are two islands. So, you know, we need that committee to keep things together. The big one is the St. Kitts and Nevis Netball Association, on which I sit as the representative for Netball Nevis.
That's wonderful. I know there's some activity happening in netball. The Department of Sports, they're going to be joining us shortly, and they are doing something with that. But in terms of netball in Nevis, netball on the ground, what is happening now? Is anything happening?
Well, we have Mrs. Lydia Thompson Claxton. She has a group of young ladies every Tuesday night who practice at the complex. And it's a training program for people who want to learn, young girls who want to learn netball, or young ladies, let me put it that way.
Okay, so how do I get my young daughter who is about 7 years in Nevis, be a part of this program?
You have to call Mrs. Claxton and speak with her. She's in charge of that.
And you said Tuesdays.
Of course, on Tuesdays, yes.
What time to what time?
But Tuesdays is not for those children.
Oh, Tuesdays
what we are planning to do is to have a clinic on Saturday mornings for children between that age up to 12 years old.
Oh, so then my 14-year-old daughter could show up on the Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay, that'll be wonderful. I guess I have to speak to the two moms in Nevis and have them organize that. So
you have two children in Nevis?
I'm only kidding. But I was just asking for persons in St. Kitts who may have children in Nevis.
Okay, understand.
And how far down in the year? We're getting on close to Christmas and Carnival. How far down do you suspect that the training, the program will be going?
Well, I think they'll break maybe on the Christmas week and get back into action.
Okay, and
because if you speak with the president of the St. Kitts Nevis Netball Association, he can give you a rundown on all the things that are being organized for 2024.
Okay, that's wonderful. And we early next year, God's Spear, we're going to be having in the various presidents, secretaries, the various executives to tell us about, in a sense, review 2023 and what would have been happening for 2024. So we really appreciate the information. So is there a number? You did mention the coach, but is there a number that one could call to say, hey, I have 2 children, three children to sign up?
Okay, if you call 766-6079 tomorrow, I can give you all the information on the phone contacts. Or I can put it in your WhatsApp.
Okay, that is wonderful indeed. In terms of the Tuesday sessions, what sort of age group do you have happening? I know you said it's under 12, but what's the youngest player do you have?
Teenagers.
Sorry.
Up to...
Yes, this one, Tuesday, is the teenagers.
Up to 25, we start with the teenagers.
Wow. I know over the years, netball has been happening in Nevis, and you have been participating with the St. Kitts. And for example, in the football, right now there's a team from Nevis, Queen City ladies. They are involved in the final 4 playoff for the Elvis Star Brown Female League to go into the best of 3 finals and then the winner. So Nevis participating in competitions, in national competitions, that is nothing strange. How do you feel about the selection of Nevisians generally when it comes to a St. Kitts and the Nevis squad?
What do you really mean?
I know there have always been challenges when a national team is selected. Very few, if any, divisions may be on it. When we speak of track and field, for
I
example.
understand what you're saying now. That doesn't happen now because we are very aggressive when it comes to that type of behavior.
Okay.
So we don't really have that problem. The only time that we would have divisions not participating is if they do not show up for practice.
Okay, that's wonderful, because we are a
But it
federation.
used to happen. Trust me, it used to happen before.
When you say used to happen, divisions were not interested in playing for the national team, or they were.
No, no, we used to have a hard time getting selection on the national team.
Wow. I think over the years, I'm not certain we have found the right chemistry of how we go about that. Not necessarily in netball. Track and field, for example, the athletes basically pick themselves. There was Adrian Pemberton, is it? The javelin thrower from Nevis. He was the best javelin thrower we had in the federation. So when it comes to high school championships, he would have picked himself. Track and field, it's a little easier to do. And in football, there was it Laurel Newton, the late Laurel Newton, if I'm not mistaken? He would have played for the Federation, St. Kitts and Nevis, the national team. And some persons might think that you have to come and play for a team in St. Kitts, which may not necessarily be the case. There's a goalkeeper from Nevis who actually played for the champion team, Ramsville Superstars. And I think he made the national team. He really had a very good best of 3 finals. And he was MVP
I
in
think
game
that we have a different setup now, but we still have the 2 committees, and we still have our netball clubs and so on and teams in Nevis. So we have to play together and get a squad, or we will choose a squad from Nevis and a squad from St. Kitts, and then they will play together, and then you pick the island. Let me give you an example. Like when I used to play netball, and we were going to play World Championships, was going to be held in Trinidad in 1979. And each island started out with 15 ladies. And every time you did not show up for a practice session, you were eliminated.
One practice?
And the Nevis team was eliminated to 2 people. That was Crescentia O'Flaherty and myself. And we had to go to every single practice. We had to catch the boat and go to St. Kitts. Sometimes when we went to St. Kitts, nobody showed up for practice.
Wow.
We had to run back down to the pier and see if we can get something coming back home. But there were no eliminations. So, these are the things that happen, but they can't happen now, trust me.
Let me
And so we were the only 2 people from Nevis who got selected on the team from St. Kitts Nevis to play World Tournament in Trinidad in 1979.
So you would have been one of the champions?
Yes. One of the champions. I was one of the selectees.
Okay.
I got selected. And Crescentia O'Flaherty, but we had to go to every single practice to get selected. But we love netball so much that we would do anything.
Let me clarify something.
That was it. Huh?
Did you say coming down, if you miss one practice, you're eliminated from the squad?
Absolutely.
Was that the case straight across the board to any player, whether you're from St. Kitts or Nevis?
Well, I don't know for St. Kitts because I used to see everybody coming out to practice, even though they don't come sometimes. Even though they miss a practice, they didn't get eliminated.
Wow. I think we've generally come a long way since that.
Of course.
Not only netball in other areas. And I guess that is a part of a history we'd really like to erase. But anything else would you want to share with us, Miss Grelhull?
Well, I am here hoping that netball will go on, and that the young ladies in both St. Kitts and Nevis will continue playing and play to the best of their ability. because when they go out and play, they're representing their country,
Mm-hmm.
and they are also developing themselves as a human being and learning leadership, you know, how to raise funds, all those things. That's the important thing of joining an organization like the
Okay.
Netball Association or the Cricket Association and so on. You learn so much, and you find that it helps you on in life. And it also helps to develop the volunteer ability of the person. People learn to volunteer their time and not always want to be paid for what they do.
That's a
Because
very
that
big point.
happens a lot now. Everybody wants to get money for whatever they do. When I was growing up, we just used to volunteer our time. And we had a lot of fun and we learned a lot.
That's
And it also makes you a strong person. And I'm glad for that because I'm one of them.
old school, as they'll say. And
Whatever.
I've heard scary stories. I put up my hand to volunteer, and somewhere along the line, I'm going to ask, well, how much am I going to be paid? And I could have never really related to that because volunteering, giving of one's self.
Right.
And
So you can put up your hand to volunteer and then ask for the payment.
what's in it for me? Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but I think that seems to be a challenge now with, should I say, the younger generation, the more youthful persons. I'm not.
Yeah, but it all starts at home, Mr.
Ah.
Mills. It all starts at home with the parents,
Mm,
you know?
yes.
They have to teach their children.
Yeah, that is most correct.
Because my mother was a person who volunteered a time in the community. She was a community person.
Mm,
So doing that came like second nature to us because that's how we grew up.
okay.
But you know, kids know. If they get up at 8 o'clock to go to school for 8:30, they don't have anything to do, nothing to contribute. The parents do everything for them. You know?
Yeah, even clean up at the dining table after.
No, the parents clean up after them
Yeah,
because they don't want them to have any work to do. I can't understand it, but that's how it is.
Mm,
I'm glad how I was brought up.
okay. I really appreciate that. Miss Hull, it was indeed a pleasure having you with us. Who knows, maybe one of these days we'll have you in the studios live in living color. You and perhaps one or two persons from the Nevis Netball Committee. That's the name of your group you mentioned?
The name of the group, the committees in Nevis, we have Netball Nevis
Netball
and
Nevis.
Netball St.
Okay. Netball Nevis. I do thank you for taking time out to share what's happening with us in Nevis. And anything pops up, my number 668-2055. You could always, I'm only a phone call away, as old people say. But
I surely will, and thank you for the offer.
my pleasure, ma'am. Thanks a lot. And have a wonderful night. And keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
I will.
okay, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night. We've been speaking live to Miss Jenna Grell Hull out of Nevis, and she's been around the netball like for forever. And we say thank you to you for the hard work that you've been doing and all the other persons in Nevis, keeping the young ladies active, keeping them out of trouble, and ensuring that they develop into wonderful young ladies. You're listening to On the Ball here at WINNFM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills, your host. On the Ball is sponsored by Cayenne Jet. A very big thank you to you, Cayenne Jet, for being with us. And we're expecting the Department of Sport anytime now. They're going to be talking primary school football, secondary school football, and netball as well. They have a netball program going, and about 8 o'clock or thereabout, we're going to be having the St. Kitts and Nevis weightlifting competition. Association. And let us go and let us actually take a word from our sponsors. Jet is a 5-star private air terminal providing luxury services and a relaxing environment for guests arriving to and departing from the beautiful islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. Our exclusive state-of-the-art terminal is available to passengers of private and commercial jets. Relax and be pampered in a luxurious space while your immigration and baggage requisites are being addressed at Jet. Jet is located at the Robert L. Bratcher International Airport in St. Kitts. Jet provides a total focus on your needs with the elegant simplicity of a single point of contact for your travel demands. Our commitment to highest levels of service, safety, and convenience is unmatched in private aviation. Jet private lounges are known for their discerning clients who relish the state-of-the-art terminal for both its privacy and ability to relax and be pampered in a luxurious space while their immigration and baggage requisites are being taken care of with always a warm Jet welcome from our team. At Jet, every trip is personal, and we tailor each arrival and departure to the individual guests, making sure our beautiful lounges are the luxury escape from their tiring journeys, helping them to relax, renew, and revitalize. Our highly experienced staff are on hand to deal not only with normal day-to-day procedures, but with special requests and individually tailored solutions to meet the demands of today's unique travel needs. From arrival to departure and beyond, all private or business travel needs are met with uncommon dedication and personalized care at Jet. Jet is located at the Robert L. Bratcher International Airport in St. Kitts. Welcome back. Welcome to On the Ball here on WINNFM 98.9. I am Troy Biffmills, your host, and a very big thank you to Jet for coming on board and sponsoring us. I'm seeing something. I'm wondering if actually I'm seeing correct. We had the final of the Keith Atherton T20 cricket put on by the St. Kitts Cricket Association, and I am not certain I'm seeing right here. Molyneux, correction, Molyneux Keon, they are the champs. But I'm thinking that this is primary school cricket I'm looking at. Sandy Point, 26 all out. 26, yes, you heard me right. 2-6 all out. from 11.2 overs. Well, that's what I'm having. Joshua Grant opening the batting. He was 4 from 7 balls. Tariq Newton, his opening partner, 2 from 7 balls. Dylan Liddy, the captain and wicketkeeper, batting at number 3. He had a duck from 4 balls. Jamie Cornelius batting at 4, 1 from 8. Zawandi White, he had a 1-ball duck. He was batting at number 4. Shane Jeffers, he also had a 1-ball duck, batting at number 5. Dinell Dixon, he stuck around for a little while, but he didn't trouble his scores apart from the number of balls. He was out for a duck as well. Ambassador Kenny Douglas, batting at that would be number 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. He made 1 from 2 balls. Calvin Jeffers batting at 9. He made 2 from 9 balls. Cordell Cook, he stuck around quite a bit. He faced 16 balls. And would you believe, batting at number 10, Cordell Cook, he not only faced the greatest number of balls, he faced 16 balls, but he was not out on 0. Dexter Brown batting at 11, he was 1 from 4. So what is happening here in the final? This reminds me somewhat of the World Cup Cricket Cup final. We are seeing Sandy Point, 26 all out from 11.2 overs. The bowling for Molyneux Keon, Jerome Thomas, 1 over 6 runs. He didn't touch a pad. Larry O'Dane opening the bowling, 4 overs, 1 maiden, 7 runs, 7 wickets. 4 overs, 1 maiden, 7 runs, 7 wickets. I think this got to be a criminal act, so police need to investigate this. Congratulations to you, Larry. Jace Taylor, first change, he had 4 overs, 4 runs, 1 wicket. Tristan Hanley, the second change, 1.2 overs, 2 runs, 1 wicket. And Jaleel Clark, the third change, he had 1 over, 1 run, 1 wicket. I really don't know what was going to happen here. Molyneux Keon set 27 to make in all of 20 overs. They were 28 for 1. Hold on. No. 28 for 1 in 2.1 overs. That's what, 13 balls? Jaleel Clark opening the batting. He was 20 not out from 7 balls. He had 3 fours, 1 6. DeAndre Drew, he was 6 from 5 balls. He opened the batting. Xavier Saunders, he faced 1 ball. He didn't come off the mark, didn't get off the mark, and he was actually not out. And the bowling for Sandy Point, Tariq Newton, 1 over 18 runs. He was slaughtered. Didn't touch a pad. Zawandi White, 1 over, 6 runs. He picked up a wicket. Dexter Brown, he had just the 1 ball, giving up 4 runs, and he didn't touch a pad. So the champions for the 2023 Keith Atherton T20 Championship, organized by the St. Kitts Cricket Association, Molyneux Keon, we say congratulations to them, and they should be celebrating probably until next year, not just for winning the championship, but for skittling out Sandy Point Cricket Club for a meager 26. We'll probably have to check the stats and see if that may very well be the lowest score ever in T20 cricket anywhere around the world, maybe at any level, male, female, primary school, etc. So we say congratulations to them, Molyneux Cricket Club, Molyneux Keon Cricket Club, and best wishes. They actually the award ceremony is happening now at Warner Park, and the director of sport, Mr. Jeffrey Pedro Hazel, he has advised that he'll be running a little late. He extended his apologies. So I'm going to keep your company until he gets here shortly. And in case you're wondering what would have happened, we had the points table. Molineux Keon. There were 6 teams in the competition. Police, let me start at the bottom. Police, they played 5 matches and they lost all 5. St. Paul's, they won 2, they lost 3. They ended up on 4 points. Police didn't get a point. Young Guns, they were 4th. They won 2 matches, played, lost 3. They were 4 points. They were defeated by Molineux Keon in the first semi-final. La Poinciana, which is a new team. It comprises persons from Newtown's previous teams as well as persons from throughout the country. They had 3 victories, 1 loss, and 1 tied match. Sandy Point Cricket Club, they came into the finals, as the semi-finals, as the 2nd seed, having won 3 matches, lost 1, and the 1 tied match against Poinciana. Poinciana had 7 points. Sandy Point had 7 points. Sandy Point in 2nd place by a greater net run rate, 1.382, while that of La Poinciana was 0.586. Molineux going into the semi-finals as the favorite, number 1 ranked. They won 4 matches and they lost 1, so they had 8 points. And this is interesting. It brings, I'm not certain there'll be any further cricket from the senior level for the balance of the year. However, we'll keep you informed accordingly. And congratulations again to the Molineux Keon Cricket Club, coming out champions. And the Sandy Point having 2 losses in one night. The Sandy Point Primary School going down to Date Bay Primary School in the quarterfinals of the St. Kitts and Nevis National Bank Primary School Championship. And Sandy Point, the senior team, losing. Now let us talk about a little bit of cricket still. The Leeward Islands and their performance in the recently concluded CG Insurance Super 50 over. And my. Leewards, before we get into Leewards, actually, we must congratulate Trinidad and Tobago for coming out victorious and making light work of Leewards. A lot of persons arguing, hey, Leewards won the toss and batted. Was that the right decision? Because there was some moisture it was in a rainy part and the moisture, so shouldn't they have fielded first? But they chose to bat and it didn't work for them. And if we run through the scorecards, Leewards batting first, 135 all out in 41.5 overs. Kyron Powell, he started off this season with some good scores in 80 plus and 70 plus. And ladies and gentlemen, you can call and share your view. 466-0989, 662-0989, or you can send me a WhatsApp 6682055. Share concerns, suggestions, anything you would want to let us know, and we'll share it for you. So Kyron Powell, opening the batting, he was 12, and this is the final of the CG International Super 50 Cup, which is actually the West Indies Cricket Board's 50 over championship. He was 8 from 15 balls. Justin Greaves, pardon me, there seem to be a lot of mixed feelings about him. Persons have been arguing that, hey, he couldn't make Barbados team and he found his way into the Leewards team. But guess what? He performed because he had a century. and some very, very good scores. But not on this occasion. He opened the batting. He had 12 from 15 balls. Casey Carty batting at number 3, West Indies player. And he didn't have such a good season at all. Not the levels that persons expected him. He was 12 from 32 balls. Jameer Hamilton, the wicket keeper, batting at number 4, he got a half century. 62 from 102 balls, 3 fours, 1 sixes. But he didn't get enough support. Terrence Ward out of St. Kitts. A lot of persons have been arguing that perhaps he hasn't been getting enough matches. But he has gotten a few. The question is, has he made use of the opportunities? And here is he. He had a duck from 3 balls. Rakeem Cornwall batting at number 6. 1 from 5 balls. Kofi James, an all-rounder from Antigua and Barbuda. 7 from 22 balls. Hayden Walsh. Excuse me. Hayden Walsh, left out of the West Indies team that has recently been announced, and a lot of persons wondering what's up with that, because he had a very good season. And in this case, he batted at number 8. He made the second highest score for the Leewards, 20 from 38 balls. Alzari Joseph, the captain of the Leewards, and that move actually paid off for him. Persons wondered if that was a good choice. And there is the normal debate, the rum shop debate, the playing domino debate, or playing drafts, or around the cricket, football, people hanging out. And actually, it worked, because he is the captain of the West Indies, the vice captain of the West Indies team to be facing England. He batted at number 9. He was 2 from 5 balls. Daniel Durham, he was 5 from 9. And O'Shane Thomas not out, 2 from 5. The bowling saw Akil Hussain, 9 overs, 1 maiden, 30 runs, 1 wicket. Shannon Gabriel, and coming in from the cold, some may argue, 6.5 overs, 25 runs, 1 wicket. Sunil Narain was recently declared his retirement, and he was the first change bowler. He had 9 overs, 2 maidens, 17 runs, 3 wickets, picking up the lion's share, along with Terence Hines, who had 7 overs, 1 maiden, 16 runs, 3 wickets, and Kerry Peer, third change, 5 overs, 21 runs, 1 wicket. Yannick Caraya, 5 overs, 21 runs, not touching a pad. Trinidad and Tobago in search of 136 for victory to be declared the champions 2023. They too made relatively light work, and some rain stepped in. 141 for 3 from 23.4 overs. And having a little challenge here with my table. Let me try my phone. And I'm just asking you to bear with me while the technology, I try to get the scores on my phone for the Trinidad and Tobago. As some people say, my laptop is buffering. Windies cricket. And if we go down, dig, perhaps I need to get myself new devices, because I'm not getting in here either. But anyways, it's going to come back up, and we'll be able to bring you that score. The thing about it is, Lee was having made 135. Trinidad and Tobago 141 for 3 in 23.4 overs via the Duckworth-Lewis system, winning by 7 wickets. That is something I've never ever, in just my personal view, I've never ever really believed in it. I'm a qualified umpire, and I always think, and I understand what they're trying, the Duckworth-Lewis system, and those who may not be familiar with it, they're saying when you bat first, you don't have any targets to work with. It's all in your mind. You set your target, how many runs you want to score per over, and you move from there. Whereas the team batting second, they actually have a target. They know what you made, and they can pace themselves and go, whether it's 5 runs and over, 6 runs and over, or whatever the case is. And I understand that. That makes a lot of sense. However, the score they're given, it takes into account how many wickets the first team lost and how many overs they faced, etc., etc. So from the time you go to bat second, you know for every single ball where you have to be if rain had to come after the minimum number of overs, that is, and stop the play. And that is something I was never ever really too keen on. And I'm not certain, I don't think that will be changed anytime just now, because that is used all over the world for limited over cricket. The T20s, the T10s, and the One Day International, the 50 overs. But that's just the personal view of Troy Biff Mills. And while we said it's now 3 minutes moving up to 8 o'clock, and we do have our 8 o'clock guest here in the studio, and he is actually waiting for one of his companions, and the award ceremony is happening at Warner Park, the Department of Sports. We believe they'll be here sometime still. And let us take a break from our take a break and hear a word from our sponsors, Cayenne Jet. And we say a very big thank you to Cayenne Jet for coming on out and sponsoring us. Cayenne Jet provides a total focus on your needs with the elegant simplicity of a single point of contact for your travel demands. Our commitment to highest levels of service, safety, and convenience is unmatched in private aviation. Cayenne Jet private lounges are known for their discerning clients who relish the state-of-the-art terminal for both its privacy and ability to relax and be pampered in a luxurious space, while their immigration and baggage requisites are being taken care of with always a warm Cayenne Jet welcome from our team. At Cayenne Jet, every trip is personal, and we tailor each arrival and departure to the individual guests, making sure our beautiful lounges are the luxury escape from their tiring journeys, helping them to relax, renew, and revitalize. Our highly experienced staff are on hand to deal not only with normal day-to-day procedures, but with special requests and individually tailored solutions to meet the demands of today's unique travel needs. From arrival to departure and beyond, all private or business travel needs are met with uncommon dedication and personalized care at Cayenne Jet. Cayenne Jet is located at the Robert L. Bratcher International Airport in St. Kitts. Cayenne Jet is a 5-star private air terminal providing luxury services and a relaxing environment for guests arriving to and departing from the beautiful islands of St. Kitts and Nevis. Our exclusive state-of-the-art terminal is available to passengers of private and commercial jets. Relax and be pampered in a luxurious space while your immigration and baggage requisites are being addressed at Cayenne Jet. Cayenne Jet is located at the Robert L. Bratcher International Airport in St. Kitts. Thank you for tuning in to Win FM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills, your host for On the Ball, where we keep you on the ball with sporting information from around the world, at home, regionally, and internationally. And the program is sponsored by Kayan Jet. A very big thank you to Kayan Jet for coming on board and sponsoring us. We really appreciate that. And we thank you very much as well for actually being with us. You could have chosen anything else, anything to do, but we thank you for being with us. Of course, we are taking your calls as well. You can call 668-20, forgive me, 466-0989. That's WinFM's landline, or 662-0989. Or you can send me a WhatsApp, 668-2055, and we'll share your information on Win FM. We're going to go across to the football scene, and we're here locally with the Elvis Star Browns Female League. That is happening, where we have 4 teams into the semi-finals. And in the game that was played on the weekend, MFCR, Montreal Farm Clean Rights United Old Road Lady Jets, they came up against Queen City Football Club. The halftime score, 10-0. The final score, 14-1 in favor of MFCR United Old Road Ladies Jets. And I don't know what's happening down in that Old Road region, but I like it. Something positive is happening with the football. We saw the males making it into the Super 6 after facing relegation a few years ago, and the females now making it into the playoffs, the Final 4. Not doing that well. However, looking at the glass half full, they were down 10-0. They gave up 10 goals in the first half, but they were only able to give up 4 goals in the second half, which has to be a positive. But not only that, they scored. Scoring for Old Road, we had the Lindsay Roberts. She had 5 goals. Leranja Wilkinson, she had 4. Chanel McKellar and Shakina Brandy both had a brace. And Tavia Phipps, she put a bulge in the old onion bag in the 81st minute to actually seal the deal for Montreal Farm Clean Rights United Old Road Jets, Lady Jets. The lone goal, consolation goal for Queen City came in the 88th minute, which is another positive. It tells me these ladies were playing hard down to the wire, so that's something that their coach would be proud of. Celine Clark, she netted. And in the second game, Honda Newtown United, no strangers to football, one of the top teams in the country female-wise, and I'll dare say the most dominant team. They came up against Mapau Keon Rockets. And what I like about this, 3 of the 4 teams have sponsors. We had MFCR, Montreal Farm Clean Rights United Old Road Jets. We have Honda, Newtown United, and Mapau Keon Rockets. I'm perhaps going to put a plug for Queen City FC out of Nevis and encourage the corporate community to come on board and lend your sponsorship to Queen City, Nevis. Halftime, it was 3-0 in favor of Newtown. They doubled that in the second half, and they also gave up a goal. The game ending 6-1 in favor of Honda Newtown United. The scorers for Honda Newtown United, we had Caitlin Forbes. She had a brace. Christy Ann Mills. No wonder, man. She had a hat trick. She had to. She's a Mills. I got to confirm whether she's a cousin, a sister, or a wife. I don't know. Christiane Mills. She had a hat trick. The 45th plus 1 minute, the second half, and that again is a good thing. You don't stop playing until the whistle goes. And Shamika Isaac, she had a goal in the 90th plus 2 minutes. When everybody playing for the final whistle, the score is actually 5-1. And here she pushing and scoring. And the lone goal scorer for Mapao Kean Rockets was Janique Gishard in the 47th minute. As soon as the second half started, they came out banging. So we say congratulations to them. They're going to be getting into the third game. And the points standings so far, we have Queen City. They've played 2 and lost all 2. Najiko Keon Rockets, they are in the same fate. However, they are in third place. And obviously, they haven't had a point, but they have their goal difference is not as bad as Queen City. And Honda Newtown United in second place, having won 2 matches, they're on 6 points. Montreal Farm United Old Road Jets, Lady Jets, they also won 2 matches. They are on top because of goal difference. They have a goal difference of 15. They scored 16. They've given up 1. Whereas Honda Newtown United, they've scored 14 and given up 1. So they have 13. Christian Mills, the leading goal scorer. And remember, she has to be related to me. She's a Mills, of course. And she has 6 goals. And Caitlin Forbes, she has 4. Shamika Isaac, 3. Sharina Blake, 1. That's for Honda Newtown United. Whereas for MFCR United Olo Jets, the Lencia Roberts, she has 5. Lorenza Wilkinson, 4. Shakima Brandy, 3. Chanel McKellar, 2. And Tavia Phillip, 1. Najiko Keon Rockets, Janique Gishard, she has the only goal for that club. And for Queen City, Celine Clark, she has the only goal as well. So a lot of exciting things happening here in the Elvis Star Browns Female League, which has been going for a few years. And it has seen the female team develop over the years. So once the St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association continues, we expect great things from these young ladies. And really, guys, a lot of football is being played here in St. Kitts and Nevis around this time of the year, especially going into Carnival. Calypso's out. I understand Daddy T, he was supposed to sing a soca. I don't know what happened. And but at this time, one wonders if people don't shut down and go into the Carnival mode. And speaking to the Carnival mode, the Director of Sports, he is here with us now. So we perhaps should go to Studio 2 and say good evening, Mr. Pedro. I can't say you were late. You didn't come early because of the engagement. Giving out, perhaps you're the reason why teams only making 26 and so, Mr. Pedro. Good evening. How are you, sir?
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Mills, and to your listening audience. It's quite a pleasure to be here in the studios with you this evening. As you indicated, I got here a bit late, and this was due to the activities that were ongoing at Warner Park this evening. This evening we had the quarterfinals of the St. Kitts Nevis and Quilla National Bank Primary School football. We had the Keith Atherton T20 cricket finals that was organized by the St. Kitts Cricket Association. And we also had some training sessions that we are doing with all of these secondary schools, netball training, where we bring in the females from the various schools and they are coached by our coaches. And this is on the heels of a program that we had just a few weeks ago with a coach out of England, Violet Murray, who would have came here to St. Kitts and did some clinics. And so the schools wanted to continue. So that's why but nevertheless, we are here. And, we want to thank you for the invitation as well.
Violet Murray, she was actually one of the first guests we had here back when we started on the 10th of October. She was here with Mr. Dion French, the president of the St. Kitts and Nevis Netball Association. And So netball really kicking off things here. The first guest. Thank you, Mr. Pedro. We appreciate it. You're listening to On the Ball here at WinFM 98.9. It's sponsored by Kayan Jet. I am your host, Troy Biff Mills. We have live and lively right now on the mic, Mr. Pedro. He is the director of sports. Football, primary school football, secondary. But let's touch the primary school. When you're passing up the park, it sounds like it's an SKNFA finals. The crowd going on bad. I'm really pleased to see the parents coming out and supporting. Not as many dads as I would like to see, but quite a few females. How is that tournament going, apart from the fact that you make sure Sandy Point loses tonight?
Well, when we started back in October, I think around the 26th of October, we had 19 of the 20 schools participating in this tournament. And again, it is sponsored by the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank. And we're quite honored. They have been sponsoring this tournament for over 20 years. And we're thankful for the investment that the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank has been making over the last 2 decades and more to grassroots football in St. Kitts and Nevis. So what we did really, because we had the 19 teams and time was against us because, we're moving closer and closer into the end of term. The students are going to be having their end of term exams and then the Christmas carnival season. We decided to have 3 zones of the various teams. One team would have, 2 teams would have six teams each, and the other would have 7. And so it's a round robin. It was a round robin competition. From zone 1, we had the Irish Town Primary. They played 5 matches, having 17 points. Dieppe Primary, same 5 matches, 17 points. And just edged out Keon Primary, who had 15 points. Also in that zone, we had Dr. William Connor Primary, Bronte Welsh Primary, and George Moody Stewart. In zone 2, we had Beach Allen Primary, Edgar T. Morris Primary, Newton Grown Primary. Those 3 would have played in the quarterfinals today. And we also had St. Paul's Primary, Dean Glasgow Primary, and Morris Helium Memorial. In zone 3, we had Sandy Point Primary, Tyrrell Williams Primary, and Tucker Clark Primary. Those 3 as well would have played in the quarterfinals today. Joshua Obadiah Williams, who did a very, very commendable job in playing this tournament. We also had Saddle Secondary, Immaculate Conception Catholic School, ICCS, and Violet Petty. Now, one may ask, how we were able to advance these 8 teams from 3 groups to the quarterfinals. So the top 2 teams from each zone will advance. That makes it 6, and the 2 best third place finishers as well participated. So today we saw the quarterfinals, and like I said, if you were passing Warner Park this afternoon from around 3 o'clock until the last game finished just after 7, it was pandemonium. It was as if, as you indicated, you are witnessing some SKNFA final match. And this was just a quarterfinal. So what is to come for the semifinals and the finals, we hope to surpass the excitement that occurred today. And the good news about it really, for what really transpired, the matchups were some very, very good matchups. Any school on the day could have won these matches. So in the first match, we had Irish Town Primary defeating Newton Ground Primary 2-0. Both goals were scored by Anel Archibald, and he was the Andrew Trill player of the match. Tyrrell Williams edged Edgar T. Morris 2-1. We had Josiah Jew and Verdell Govaya scoring for Tyrrell Williams, and Jeshard Phillips for Edgar T. Morris. The Angus Stewart Trill player of the match was Jamari Lewis from Tyrrell Williams Primary. And in the third game, which was a very, very exciting match, and I know you do not like to hear, we do not like to hear that Sandy Point was on the losing end tonight, but at the end of regulation time, it was 1-1, and so they went straight into penalties, and that's where Dape was able to win 4-3 on penalties. I don't have the goal scorers as yet, and for the final match, I know one of my good friends just walked in here, so he would not want to hear the score, but Beach Allen Primary won 7-1 over Tucker Clark Primary. So
Sorry, I think you made a mistake there. 7-1.
7-1 over Tucker Clark.
Tucker Clark going down?
But Tucker Clark is now out of they did not advance into the semi-finals. So the semi-finals matchup, we just have to clarify the date of that because there was a clash with some other semi-finals that we hope to have next week as well. So the semi-final matchup is the clash of Bastille, Irish Town Primary versus Beach Allen Primary, and the clash of rural St. Kitts, Tyrrell Williams versus Dape Primary. And I mentioned Andrew Stewart Trill a while ago. While National Bank is the platinum sponsor for this tournament, we would have gotten the support from Andrew Stewart Trill through its agent CNC, and they would have contributed the beverage that we are providing the students, whomever is dubbed the player of the match. And this goes through all of the matches, whether it's primary school or the secondary school. So that player is dubbed the Andrew Stewart Chill player of the match. And so we want to say thanks to Andrew Stewart for coming on board at this trying time as well to sponsor this part of the tournament.
What caused you and your team, the sports department, to decide to bring back this competition at this stage?
Well, after the COVID-19 break, we realized, we needed to jumpstart what was happening in sports before the COVID-19 pandemic. And that was the impetus, really, for us to restart. As a matter of fact, we started back in January with the Department of Sports zonal meets, where schools within the specific zones would, have a athletic showdown in preparation for their sports days, in preparation for the Rams Primary Championships. And that went very well for us. We would have seen a lot of the young athletes making some good times or jumps or throws and advancing to whether it was the Carifta team or a junior national team. So we felt that we had to continue. Out of that, we were trying as much as possible to get the others started, but that was really the platform for us to look at the strengths and weaknesses. And so we decided, in the summer, during the summer vacation, instead of having 1 week summer camp as we did with the summer camp activities only held in Bastille, we decided we have to touch St. Kitts. So we had 3 weeks of summer camp activities, and we moved around the country. Of course, the facilities are managed by the Department of Sports, so that's not a challenge for us to use the facilities. We have the coaches, so we decided we are going to the players. Not everyone from rural St. Kitts would come into Bastille because, things are a bit challenging at times. And so we decided to go to them so that we can, expose them to the various sporting activities. And then, as we indicated, we launched the school's football program that is currently ongoing.
Tell us about the secondary schools element of it, please.
Yes, the secondary schools element, we have received sponsorship, a very, very huge investment from Jones Group Limited, and they have sponsored all of the high school football. And all of the high school football means that every secondary school in the federation, whether they're in St. Kitts or Nevis, they are participating in the various categories. So we have the under 14 category. Again, we have them in two zones. We have the under 16 category that will be played next term along with the female open competition. And this term also we have the open competition that really includes CFBC College and AVEC.
I like that. I think that's an excellent idea.
But what I need to mention this because AVEC and CFBC College are in the competition. You know, a lot of persons think that it is an unfair situation to them or to the high school. So within that competition, the open competition, there are two competitions basically.
Okay.
So let's say Virtual High School and Bastia High School advance to the finals. The winner would receive two trophies. They would receive the Open Championship Trophy and the High School Championship Trophy. If it was a case where CFBC College and any of the high schools were in the finals and CFBC were emerged victorious, CFBC would win the Open Championship, while the runner-up, if it's a high school, would win the High School Championship. So we didn't want to disenfranchise anyone. We're still looking at some ways how we can assist those students from CFBC, AVEC. How can we get Ross University, Windsor University involved, along with players who want to matriculate onto universities in the United States. So we're going to be creating a platform for that, working in conjunction with the St. Kitts Nevis Football Association, where we can bring college coaches in and do a showcase probably for a weekend or 1 week. And these coaches would see the talent that we have here. And of course, try to offer scholarships to the players to go to college.
What stage are you at in the competition that's happening right now?
In the under 14 and the open competition, we're just about one round left to be completed. We had two matches. We had several matches last night in the open competition. If I may allow to run through these
Of
quickly. In Nevis, we had Gingerland Secondary defeating AVEC 3-2. We also had in Virtuals, Sadler Secondary defeating Charles E. Mills 2-1. And we had Bastia High School defeating the home base school, Virtuals High School 2-0. At Warner Park, we had CFBC College defeating Washington Archibald High School 4-0. As of those matches last night, as we indicated, we just have one round of matches to go. Virtuals High School is still leading their group based on goal difference, followed by Bastia High School. Below them, we have Sadler's Secondary, Charles E. Mills, Gingerland, AVEC. And in Zone 2, we have CFBC College, Washington Archibald High School, Keon High, ICCS, and Charleston Secondary. The top two teams would advance to the semifinals and work their way down to the finals. So we are hopeful that we can complete all of these by the 7th of December, so that when school closes on the 8th, you know, they end with a bang, a championship, some medals, some individual awards to go home with.
I like the way it is structured. I particularly like the two championships, the open championships, because if we look at, say, the Gold Cup here in CONCACAF, when you invite teams outside of the region and they play, I've always asked the question, what if they were to go through and win the competition? Would they be the Gold Cup champion? I suspect the winner, the other finalists,
Correct.
would be. And but somehow I like that model you mentioned, and I think perhaps that is something to be looked at in future. I notice in the primary school, the so-called big names, big communities, Keon, St. Paul's, they didn't make it into the playoffs. And I think St. Paul's would have won this thing a few years back. And Keon, a very strong footballing community as well. And, well, I guess that tells us that the football is advancing, so to speak, when other teams are coming and winning. So no 1, 2, 3 teams are actually dominating it over the years. And about picked me on me and told me there was some sort of somebody from overseas looking at the primary school games today. Any truth in that?
Oh, yes. The gap is closing in football, and we're seeing it around the world. Here is no different. And with the schools football, you have people who have received education over the years and are now going back into the schools to show what they really would have learned. Coupled with that, there's a league that is ongoing, the under 13, under 15 league by the SKNFA. So these players are playing a lot of football right now. Just quickly, this helps. It helps, and I know I have a champion physio next to me as well, and he would support this as well. But we have to really manage how much these players play. A couple of years ago, I was privy to a course in Miami, and the Costa Rican technical director then was making a presentation as to the number of matches that his national U team players would play annually. It was upwards 140 matches. We here in St. Per year. We here in St. Kitts and Nevis were just playing about 20 matches. And these are the teams.
Chalk and cheese.
Correct. These are the teams that we would have to compete with at the regional, international level. And so if we can play some matches and partner the SKNFA, play some matches, and you have other clubs doing the same thing, then it would be beneficial for the players. It would be beneficial for us in the country. We have the goal scorers right now, as you indicated. They're not from these so-called big schools. For example, Joshua Obadiah Williams over in Molineux, Javon Munzak has 24 goals.
Wow.
24 goals.
24?
From about 6 matches.
Wow, averaging 4 per game.
Correct. Beach Allen Elijah Mitchum, before tonight's match, he had 18.
Whoa. 18
goals. Jamari Lewis from Tyrrell Williams, he had 15. Anel Archibald, I mentioned his name earlier, from Irishtown Prime with 14. Jarrell Bowie from Sandy Point with 12. Aiden Prentice from Newton Grove with 10. So they're scoring a lot of goals, and I want to say that the play has been at a very, very good standard. Very, very good standard.
Could we use any of these players in the senior team?
The time will come.
Yes.
The time will come.
I've been looking at some of the games, and particularly in the game, in the first Virtuals, I think it was. They played in Maroon.
Tyrrell Williams.
Tyrrell Williams, yeah. I see them taking a free kick just outside the penalty area. And these guys taking free kick like big man, a man running in and be serious, dummying the ball, and the next man coming and kicking it. The passing, I'm very much impressed with the passing. I think they have a little boy. I say little in terms of height. And I see this guy take on a defender about twice his height. And partner went in and freed him tall, and I did frightened, I start to squinch. But partner, big heart. I saw the goalkeeper again making a brilliant save. And I'm really impressed with the quality of football.
Yeah, and it's not only males that are playing in this competition. There are females also playing. And
with the males?
With the males. There's a program that we have in the pipeline that is preparing for females at that level as well, because we want them to play together, preparing them as well. However, my mind runs quickly to the 2 players from ICCS. 2 players from ICCS. Keriana Harris, she's the daughter of the president of the FA, Atiba Harris. And
so she get the skills from the mother.
She won player of the match for one of the matches that they won. And so it helps us now to really look at what we're doing in terms of for female football development. At that level, we really have to create that platform for them.
One thing ICCS, formerly Convent, they played a game and they lost real heavy.
Yes, that was the first game versus
The high
Tyrrell
teens,
Williams.
high teens, I think it is.
Yeah. Around 11. Yes.
Okay, in the teams. And I remember people really saying, well, boy, it makes conversations. They should stop, but great hard to continue. I don't ever recall Keon being a strong team in football. I know they've produced some very good sportsmen. Oilers basketball, they were forced to be reckoned with in the national team. Rohan Francis from St. Paul's, he went to Convent, and he was a very, very one of the star players in the St. Kitts and Nevis football team as well as the St. Kitts cricket team. And I know they do very well in culturally because they've had a few teen talents, etc., etc. But I'm impressed with the fact that they're competing because unlike the other schools where you have a grade 2, which comprises 3 classes of about 45, 50, I don't know, 50 plus students, at ICCS, and I'm subject to correction, 1 grade is 1 class, and they may have in 13 in the teens. The students might be in the teens. So for them to be participating, I am really pleased with that. And over the years, once they continue, that program could only develop more and more.
Yeah, I think that is important. However, we also have to add to it that the support from the various football clubs to work along with these teams as well, because these are the players that would represent their clubs in the future. And if you start working with them now, the benefits of that would be achieved later on. And I've seen from this competition a lot of the clubs working along with the teams, but there's some that still need to really, give that support. At the department, our coaches, we are responsible really for going in and working with the PE sessions. So we may only have to work with the grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, but to work with the school team, it's very difficult. So we want to bridge that gap by, getting some support from the various clubs, or even persons parents who have children attending the school and have the requisite qualifications to assist in that regard.
St. Kitts, we're getting a lot of licks in terms of the cricket. And when you have a final and a team being out down for 26, I think that tells the story. And I'm in a few chats, and one of the things being discussed is the fact that, hey, this beautiful program by the Department of Sports for football, when will something like that happen for cricket?
Yes, so what we do, we work by terms. So this term we are focusing on football. Next term it's track and field. So we'll be having the zonal meets along with all of the sports days and the Rams Premier Championship. We are pushing back in again tennis and volleyball. In the third term, we usually start off with the preliminaries for netball and cricket at the primary school level. And then at the end of the exams, we come back and we finish up with the quarterfinals, semifinals, championship matches. At the high school level, so next term we continue with 2 of the competitions for football, with some basketball in. We have the under 14 netball championship that we're going to commence. The cricket, high school cricket, should start in and around the Easter vacation, because it would be very difficult, to get students to be missing classes for practically an entire day. So our vision really is to use one day of the week and the weekends to have those cricket matches being played. Again, we're doing all of this in concert with the associations. We don't want to go one way and the associations are going the other way. We must be working in partnership to achieve all of these objectives.
Final question, when would table tennis be a part of that program?
Well,
you said tennis. I said, good, we have the table tennis, but then I remember that's lawn tennis.
Correct. So it's a work in progress. We are not leaving out any sport, because now we have the swimming group, the swimming association just took a team down to St. Lucia, and they would want to see something like this happen as well from the Department of Sports, both in St. Kitts and Nevis, where we can partner and pull off a competition for these student athletes as well. So it is a work in progress. We definitely are going to do something. And one of the things that we're hopeful that we can have next year is a National Sports Awards and Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And
Excellent.
The National Sports Award is really for all who have been contributing to sports development, who have been successful, and of course those persons who would have contributed. And we have to honor them. We have to give them the flowers, while they're alive, as we all say. And if we have to do it posthumously, then we do it. But we want to induct some persons as well in the Hall of Fame. And we're not taking anything away from what the department did several years ago with the Junior Excellent Sports Award. It's an amalgamation of both of them.
Mr. Pedro, I thank you for being on the program. In the short space, we've learned quite a lot. And we do have our guests here. And you mentioned swimming. Our guests next week are the executive members and coaches of the St. Kitts and Nevis Aquatic Association. And yes, they went to the OECS Championships there in St. Lucia. If I'm not mistaken, a team is going off to St. Martin this weekend for sailing, I think it is. And they would have gone to Martinique a few weeks ago as well. So we are having them next week. But I must congratulate you and your team at the Department of Sports, as well as the Minister of Sport, the Honorable Samuel Duggins, for all that is happening within sports, especially in the school system. And I congratulate all of you and wish you the best. And thank you for coming with us here on The Ball. And of course, you'll be invited back very early next year to tell us, in essence, review your 23 program and give us a heads up on what we can expect for 2024.
Definitely. Thank you very much again, Mr. Mills, for the invitation. I want to also thank and big up the sponsors and the partners who would have made this possible for us. We have Ileto. Ileto is the uniform sponsor for all of the teams that are participating in this competition, high schools and the primary schools. As a matter of fact, at the high school level, each school received up to 3 kits of uniform, up to 3 kits, and at the primary school they received 1. And the Stuart Chill, as we indicated, they are the sponsor for the player of the match. We have Apple Cider, who we are working with right now in transporting the student athletes to and from St. Kitts and Nevis. We have Provideo, rather, they're the ones who are doing the filming and streaming of the matches. The St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association for their support. And we can't forget the Ministry of Education, because without them, the students would have never gotten permission. And also the Department of Sports in Nevis and the Education Department in Nevis for the work that they are doing, the transportation providers, the referees, everyone who are involved. And I might leave out some persons. And of course, the matches that are upcoming, we expect to have a bumper crowd in the park. There's a school spirit now that we're seeing. There's schools chartering buses, hiring buses, going around, and that's what we want.
Bringing musicians too.
Yes, so thank you again for the opportunity. We'll be back definitely to bring you more updates on what we're doing at the department.
And thank you very much. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. You're listening to On The Ball here on WINFM 98.9. I am Troy Biffmills, your host. And let's hear something from our sponsors, QuyanJet provides a total focus on your needs with the elegant simplicity of a single point of contact for your travel demands. Our commitment to highest levels of service, safety, and convenience is unmatched in private aviation. QuyanJet private lounges are known for their discerning clients who relish the state-of-the-art terminal for both its privacy and ability to relax and be pampered in a luxurious space, while their immigration and baggage requisites are being taken care of with always a warm QuyanJet welcome from our team. At QuyanJet, every trip is personal, and we tailor each arrival and departure to the individual guests, making sure our beautiful lounges are the luxury escape from their tiring journeys, helping them to relax, renew, and revitalize. Our highly experienced staff are on hand to deal not only with normal day-to-day procedures, but with special requests and individually tailored solutions to meet the demands of today's unique travel needs. From arrival to departure and beyond, all private or business travel needs are met with uncommon dedication and personalized care at Kayanjet. Kayanjet is located at the Robert L. Bratcher International Airport in St. Kitts. Kayanjet provides a total Thank you very much, Kayanjet, sponsors for On the Ball here at Win FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. We're now down to the last leg of the relay, so to speak, and we have a heavy contingent in here. These guys push a lot of iron, and it is showing why. I think I probably have to join them and do some bulking and some lifting. But let's go straight to Studio B, and we say good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to Win FM 98.9. You're on the ball. Could you please introduce yourselves?
Good evening. I'm Romain Belgo. I'm president of the St. Kitts Nevis Weightlifting Association. And I have two of my colleagues here, the vice president and the basically technical director. So I'll allow them to introduce themselves.
Good evening once again. My name is Jason Mackay. Everybody know me as Prokop. Basically, I'm the vice president of the weightlifting organization in St. Kitts, and we are here to give some updates and feedback of how we plan to proceed for the future.
Yes, good evening. Alistair James, basically a technical director. Oversee a lot of stuff, and we just here to update you on what's our plans for the future.
Tell us a bit about your association, the St. Kitts and Nevis Weightlifting Association. How long have you been around?
Basically, well, it all started from 2019. We started to have some competitions. Well, I had the idea of looking at the world's strongest man, and so we decided that's something that could work in St. Kitts. We see it on TV all the time, but we know it's something that could work here. And we started the competition. We got off on a good foot, and then we had COVID kind of slowed us up a bit. But that was more leaning towards the world's strongest man competition. But afterwards, myself and Alistair, we had a conversation, and we said, why not just go straight into the weightlifting, the powerlifting, instead of just these competitions. Because weightlifting is an Olympic recognized sport, and we saw the avenue where we could get St. Kitts out there to be a part of this weightlifting thing. And right now, presently, we're in conversation with Mr. Jose Quinones, as the president of the Panama Association, as well as Ms. Timmy Horvath for the IWF, the International Weightlifting Federation, and the local NOC here, because they all go hand in hand. We are basically trying to get to become a member of the IWF. We are saying this would be out there being able to take part in all of the international weightlifting events and stuff like that. But we have to go that direction first. We have to get accepted by the IWF and then come back home to be a member of the local NOC. But we're having conversations and we're making some great strides, and we get in there basically. We have some little things to tie up and so on, but all in time we will get there. But the position is right now that we in conversation with the IWF trying to become a member, and then we could kind of get out there, get information to get St. Kitts out there, because that is our main focus right now, to get St. Kitts. I mean, weightlifting is not a popular sport in St. Kitts. We hear about football and cricket and track and field, but weightlifting, that's what we're here for. We're trying to get St. Kitts out there in the weightlifting field. It's something that start off kind of slow, but trust me, once we get going, people will see the benefits of this weightlifting.
Prokop, could you tell us a bit about your executive members, please?
Well, basically, the president give you a long listing and the way forward of how we plan to structure and move right into weightlifting, organizations, stuff like that. Basically, with me, we are going to sit down, we're going to plan a good calendar year for 2024. Basically, I would like to touch base on what Pedro just said. How can he be involved? Basically, we will probably meet more often now that 2024 is approaching to give some updates, because one of our plans is to, organize in such a way that basically school kids are basically involved. We want to start it from a grassroots area where proper lifting techniques and other implementations for weightlifting is properly done. And also have some small competitions. Basically, everybody goes to the gym, basically thinking basically for an event and basically want to say to look good for it. But in strength training and body conditioning, we can bring the best out of you. That's why Mr. Alistair James is on board. He's a dynamic physio, good meal planner, dietitian, and basically, you could say nutritionist at all expertise. And he has more than that in his background, and we rely on him a lot, and we see how we're gonna take it in strides and basically go forward. There are some good youngsters that have been approaching me, and they are school kids, and we want to mold them in the right direction, such as basically drugs and different what to take and what's not to, because there are certain supplements that it's rated with a red mark. So basically, we're looking to put things in place, and we have been in contact most of the time with weightlifters from Barbados, Costa Rica, and stuff like that. So we are coming along nicely. I will let Mr. James give an update also.
Mr. James, what's the youngest a person can start getting involved in weightlifting?
Well, to be honest, I think our society got the age thing kind of wrong when it comes to lifting weights. Starting is not really about age to say to it, because, for example, you can be 12 years old, but your body structure is like a 6-year-old.
Okay.
And you could be a 6-year-old and you got the
12.
body structure of a 12-year-old. So it all depends on the body structure. It don't really have nothing too much to do with age.
Oh.
And this is what a lot of people get mixed up or get wrong. Because, for example, even if you're a grown adult and you decide to start exercising or playing sports or whatever, you got certain things you might look at the person in terms of coordination and, and you say, okay, I can't really give you this to do now. I got to bring you along slowly. Because, again, maybe of the past, I got the body structure, I got to, take in consideration. Right? So it's something that the general public have like a method. Oh, you're too young to lift weights, right? You're too young to do this, you're too young to do that. But science has proven different in terms of that. If you have to go outside, for example, like you go as far as Jamaica, right? And you watch a kid, say Carifto, under 15 Carifto, and then you come back and see the kid next year in Carifto, you can clearly see that kid was lifting weights. Why we don't do it here, I have no idea. But I don't even have to go to like in the States, because I have families like, play American football. Them guys like 12 and 13, and them guys lift a lot of weights. and it don't mess with the body structure. Only just we don't have the myth like, oh, you ain't supposed to do this and that. But the weightlifting thing that we organizing and putting together, it have different age category. You have age category and you have weight category. When I mean weight category, in terms of body weight, right? So it actually goes back to what I said earlier. The lifting of weights, when you're supposed to start, you don't really have to do not with the age. You have to do with the body structure. Structure. And just so with the weight lifting, right, you also have to do with your body structure. They put them in different weight category. So so you will find like somebody say 100 pounds won't be in the same category as somebody say 150 pounds. Okay. When you come to like the junior category. Mm-hmm. And also in the senior category, the same thing in the senior category. There's also weight restriction in terms of the senior category.
So what you're saying is Mackay, who is about 220 pounds of fat, and I'm about 250 pounds of solid muscle, we won't necessarily be in the same category.
Yeah, so the category also goes with the weight, the body structure. And that is something that, I mean, no matter what sports you play, you should be able to do some kind of resistance training. That's help, especially in today's sport, make your career last longer playing sports. Because you got to realize that kids are now playing a lot of sports, right? And if compared to back then, you know, people say, oh, we used to play a lot of football back then. It seems like you used to play a lot of football back then.
Yeah, that's
it seems so. Mm-hmm. But if you got to go back and like calculate how much match you used to play on an annual basis compared to how much match
these guys play
right now, it's like quadruple, quadruple, right? So you can't, for a coach to say, oh, we used to do it this way and it worked, it's way, way different today. It's a lot of wear and tear on the body today, you know. So you got to like be up to date with modern technology. Today's sports has a lot to do with a lot of modern technology.
Mackay, well, Prokop mentioned two things I particularly like. One, the drug and the drug abuse and the staying away from it and the supplements. A lot of us really use things. We eat things and we drink things, and we're not conscious, we're not aware the contents of that.
Yeah, we had to do a drug course in terms of supplements. I did one for the weightlifting, I also did one for football, and I did something similar for also track and field, right? And all of them basically come down to basically the same thing, right? You got different sports, some supplements are allowed in certain sports and some are not. But there are some supplements, no matter what sport it is, it's just a no-no, right? I was having a discussion with some guys back then about the cannabis, which is a big topic.
Definitely.
Right, a big topic. And I was trying to explain to them, if cannabis is, say, legal in St. Kitts, right, and they have an Olympic sport in St. Kitts, football, track and field, volleyball, whatever, which is an Olympic sport, and cannabis is illegal within the Olympic sports. Not because it's legal in St. Kitts. You cannot use it if they have in this sport in St. Kitts. And there's something, a lot of people don't really understand, as well as people are talking about. So if you can smoke cannabis legal in St. Kitts, smoke it anyway. and you're playing football or basketball or whatever, and you say, okay, having a basketball tournament in St. Kitts, man, I could smoke my weed still. But the basketball fall under the NOC, and it's illegal to use it under in Olympic sports. It's legal in St. Kitts, but within the sporting community competition, it will be illegal. And that's something a lot of people don't understand, trying to fight down or try to be ignorant towards it, right? So, yes, it might be illegal using it other places, but within the sport, it is illegal. So, you got the choice. You want to smoke it or you want to play.
Of course, you got to make the choice.
And then it go down to other stuff like painkillers. Most painkillers is illegal, right? And even supplement like protein powder and this and whatever, most of it, a lot of it have illegal stuff in it. So it's best to reach out if you're going to use a supplement. If you plan to take your sport serious and you're going to take supplement, I mean, all athletes take supplement, no matter, especially those who play at a high level. They take supplement. But you know how to do some research, reach out to somebody who got a better scope of understanding of what inside supplement them, because a lot of them don't have a lot of ingredients in them. They will hide it. So the brand might be on the ban list, right? And you don't know it's on the ban list. Right, so it's best to reach out to somebody and get the idea, okay, I can take this brand, I can take that brand. I mean, it could be, for example, like a whey protein. You can maybe buy a whey protein from Gold Standard, and it might be, good to go, but you get it from, say, another brand, but it may not, it might be dirty, because that brand been flagged for maybe last year, a couple of years, you got a bad track record, so that brand might be on the red flag. So they tell you, okay, keep away from that. The next thing we have to also understand, when you go to this is something again a lot of people do. If you go to a tournament, right, and you're staying inside of a hotel, this got to do with like jobs and whatever we put inside the system. Whatever the hotel you're staying by, you should try to eat all your meals at that particular hotel.
Oh, okay.
Right? If you eat outside of the hotel, that's on you. Right? So if you something show up in your testing that were given to you at the hotel, they can't do nothing.
Okay.
But if it's something sharp that you eat down the road,
black pudding or barbecue,
indulging, you could be in trouble. And it could be the same thing. You could have black pudding, it's a black pudding. You got black pudding at the hotel, and then you go by the side, just outside the hotel, and got black pudding, and it's spiked. You get in problem. But it's the same black pudding. My custom eat black pudding. The black pudding in the hotel. Somebody said, man, you could get next door. And you go next door, next thing. You get, tested. And it show positive something in the black pudding. So it's good to, wherever you're staying, have all your meals there.
Gentlemen, that's very interesting. But what is the next big event coming up for the St. Kitts and Nevis Weightlifting Association, and when?
Well, basically, I would just intervene here. We are really putting plans in place for a good structure, basically programs, basically guidelines. But normally, that's why when we was at the NOC, sitting down and discussing and negotiating for our way forward to be a part of this weightlifting organization. We also want to make a move and also start like going to the schools, because these are where we plan to basically bring it big with the youngsters, basically who are drug free, basically in terms of what they eat and what the intake are. And this is why our president does all the contacting and stuff like that. We would write programs, we would put programs in place, the right proper techniques in training sessions, emphasis on, like what Mr. James said, you may have a big 12-year-old and a small 12-year-old, and basically it just boils down to weight categories of how we want to see it presumed throughout. And we are here to go forward and bring forth some sort of structure, and like the president said, put someone out there. But basically, we have so many events. We put in events in place, like maybe every 4 months. And the president also have the strongman competition. We are not throwing it away, basically. But if we could just partake in between them, if we have different age categories for weightlifting to participate in, and give us some stints of how we are progressing along. Basically, moving forward with it, it's going to be a nice project. We are not here to stay. And people will continue and take it on, take it further. Basically, one of the other things that we are looking for is, sitting down and negotiating sponsorship so that the event can be prosperous and fruitful and more projecting out there in the eyes of people in St. Kitts and Nevis. There's a lot of gyms around, and basically we're not expecting everyone to be training at Iwet Fitness Center, but basically we will give other gyms the opportunity for us to send you on training courses. I will let the president elaborate more on that.
Well, gentlemen, we're basically out of time. However, definitely we'll have to invite you in, and I do apologize for us not having the full session with you. But in case anybody outside is interested in weightlifting, who do they contact? Do you have telephone numbers you could share with the public?
Before you go to far with it, what we don't want people to do is get mixed up with weightlifting and bodybuilding. It's two totally different sports. Most of the time people hear weightlifting, they look for bodybuilding and want to look good and stuff like that. Weightlifting is weightlifting. Yes, we had some powerlifting events, but the weightlifting that we are concentrating on right now is the snatch and the clean and jerk, basically, because those are the events that they have at the Olympic level.
Oh, okay.
So we're dealing with the direct weightlifting. And while I'm on that, Mr. Quinones, Jose Quinones, president of the Pan American Association, I recently spoke to him, and he's ready to send a coach here for up to at least a month. But myself and Ali spoke about it, and we decided to put it off until next year because we're people in carnival mode and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we want to catch people fresh when they're ready to train. So it's something that will be open. Now he's gonna deal with the whatever from his end in terms of the coach. We're not gonna be responsible for paying anything. We're just responsible for putting him up, and we already have things in place to deal with that. He will have money to cover his meals and his trip and everything, and he's just coming here basically to coach. So anybody out there who interested in the weightlifting, you want to know how this weightlifting go, and you want to take part in it, we will give the information when exactly the coach will be here and where the sessions will be and whatever the information necessary. But we could have him for up until at least a month. So we're going to put off that until next year based on the feedback with the carnival. And we have Mr. Andrew Calendar in Barbados. He basically is responsible for the region. He's responsible for getting all the different Caribbean countries, and we have conversations with him also, and he's helping us greatly in the way forward. But as I said, it's too much grounds to cover in the short space of time, so we just basically want to get the main information out there, basically about the training course next year. We will let the general public know when exactly the coach will be here, and the time and place and stuff like that. So anybody interested, just get to the carnival and then save yourself for next year to come and partake in the weightlifting once you're interested.
Gentlemen, I thank you very much for being here with us at WinFM 98.9 on the ball. And you even have me thinking about getting involved in the weightlifting or something, the jerk and the snap, rap. So I'll probably have to lose an ounce or two.
You see, that's where you're going wrong. The difference with weightlifting and bodybuilding, you don't have to look good in weightlifting, no matter how you look, as long as you have the strength and technique.
So I'll get away with the gun.
Yeah.
Well, I do appreciate the fact that you took time out to be here with us. What we are going to do, come next year, God's Spear, we're going to invite you back to, in a sense, review your 2023 year, what you think the strong points were, what areas of improvement you believe you could have had, and give us an update, and that's going to be next year, God's Spear, of what your calendar of events for 2024's Prokop was outlining to. Congratulations on your association, and the best wishes in terms of getting into the membership of the SKNOC. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to having you here at some time again in the future. You've been listening to the St. Kitts, members of the St. Kitts and the Nevis Weightlifting Association, and before them we had the Department of Sports, and the program has been On the Ball here at WinFM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It's sponsored by Cayenne Jet. We thank Cayenne Jet for coming on board and actually sponsoring the program. We really appreciate it. And in case you would want to be a part of the program, you want to come on board and sponsor On the Ball, give us a call here at WinFM 98.9 on 466-9586. It has been a pleasure bringing the 5th edition of On the Ball to you here at WinFM 98.9. I encourage you to join us next week, Tuesday, God's Spear, from 7 to 9. Next week, we're having the St. Kitts and the Nevis Aquatic Association. We're going to be talking about some swimming. We're going to be talking about some sailing. And we invite you to tune in. And thank you for taking time out to be with us for the last 2 hours. And as I slip away, I am encouraging you to always be positive in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Thank you, Cayenne Jet, for coming on board and sponsoring us here at WinFM 98.9. Cayenne Jet is a 5-star private air terminal providing luxury services and a relaxing environment for visits are being addressed at Cayenne Jet. Cayenne Jet is located at the Robert L. Bratcher International Airport in St. Kitts.